All right, everybody. What's up? It's another episode of Dave's R&R Rambles and Reviews with your host, Dave. And I think we're going to switch up a little bit for today's episode. We're going to do some rankings today. After last episode, we reviewed Thor, Love, and Thunder. So I think it's time to rank the Marvel movies of Phase 4 so far. Right now, there's a total of 12 confirmed movies for Phase 4, starting to build towards their next big bad, starting to kind of lay some groundwork into an expanded universe after Endgame. We're 6 movies in right now, we're at the halfway point, so I think it's a good time to kind of review so far and just go over worst to best what movies have impressed us the most in Phase 4. So we've got 6 movies: Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Thor. They've all come out within about the last year and a half. So we're going to rank them. Starting at number 6, so far our least favorite movie of Phase 4. It's going to be the first one that came out in Phase 4. That's going to be Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson's swan song for the Black Widow character. It was kind of looking back at her past and some events that transpired already. Obviously, she died in the last saga, so this is kind of just her swan song, and it didn't add much to the universe going forward. It was just a look back at her character. Quite frankly, I think this would have gone a lot better in Phase 3, and it would have been a big setup for her death. A lot of people would have, I feel like felt stronger about the death if we saw this movie ahead of time. But it started Phase 4. It was the first movie for the Marvel Universe after, the events of COVID, the first one back in the movie theaters. And it was decent for that. It was a great action film, but again, it had the hard task of following up Endgame, which no movie really can succeed in that spot, but I just thought this was pretty generic for an action film. So that was my least favorite movie so far of Phase 4. And looking at the list we have ahead coming out, it might at the end still be my least favorite. But so we go on to the next one, number 5 so far, and that's the movie we last reviewed, Thor, Love, and Thunder. Not a terrible movie by any means. Y'all heard my review last week of it. It just didn't live up to the hype after Thor 3. A solid movie, but I won't spend too much on that. That comes in at number 5. Number 4, and this is where it gets a little tricky. I think all these movies are pretty solid. Number 4, I'm going to go with The Eternals. Now, with this movie, I think I liked it a lot more than most people. It seems like it's a very hit or miss movie with the masses. Some people, I see it at like their number 2. Other people, it's like number 6, far and beyond the worst. But personally, I liked it. It had some great humor in it. It had a great story, I thought. A little long at times, for sure. But I thought this was a good way to introduce them to the Marvel Universe. And again, the big theme, we see in this movie is it's really bigger than Earth. I feel like that's a big theme so far. We're really expanding outside of Earth. The Infinity Saga was really about the superheroes we have had on Earth, but now we're getting a lot more into the expanded universe, the multiverse, and just expanding out farther and farther. And this was a good stretch in that. And it's setting up a lot of things for the future. Of course, all the girls love that Harry Styles was confirmed at the end of the movie in the post-credit scenes. But there it is, Eternals number 4. And number 3, we're going to go with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I didn't really know what to expect going into this. I'm not like the biggest comic book person, so I never really heard of Shang-Chi. I haven't read too much on him. But I thought it was an awesome movie. The action was great. The visuals were awesome. I thought it was a great way to introduce Shang-Chi into the Marvel Universe. And this was the first big one after Black Widow, which kind of, reset everything. I was a little down after Black Widow, but this one was great for me. I was like, okay, Marvel's getting back on track. This is what we like to see here. So Shang-Chi coming in at number 3. Number 2, we reviewed as well on the podcast, and that's going to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Again, we spent, a whole podcast reviewing this one, so I'll keep this one a little shorter. But it was just great seeing Sam Raimi getting to do what he does with the horror stuff. It kind of expanded on the multiverse, which was a big thing in the saga. We're getting into this multiverse. We saw it in this movie. We saw it with the low-key TV series, but this was just a great showing. Great for the Doctor Strange character. It pumped me up for Doctor Strange 3 down the line, and it was just great for the saga. It gave Wanda some justice after an awesome WandaVision TV show as well. So that movie was a big hit, as it deserved every right to be. And that leaves us with our number one pick. There's one movie left. I think this one's at the top of a lot of people's list, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. Our third adventure with Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and it hit on every mark. This movie was fan service galore, and it suckered me right in. Even though, a lot of people knew ahead of time all the rumors of, you know, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire reprising their roles. It was still so great to see them on screen again. It was so great to see all the old villains again, just ultimate fan service. Seeing all three Spider-Mans fighting at the same time was a blast and was probably my favorite scene from this six movies so far. I don't know, Marvel's ever gone top the scene they had in Endgames with the Avengers assembling. That's just a top cinematic moment in history. Might be my number one all time. But having all three Spider-Mans on the screen at the same time is the best thing out of Phase 4 so far. And this movie kind of, like I said, that overarching theme of expanding into this multiverse, and it's opened so many doors. We could see Andrew Garfield, we could see Tobey Maguire again. Leaves a lot of room to build Tom Holland's Spider-Man going forward. Obviously, we're going to get a fourth one down the line, so we'll see where they go with that. They'll probably take a little break for a while since the big changes at the end of the movie for Tom Holland. So that was just a great showing all around. Great action. It had consequences on like a character level with what happened to Aunt May and everything. I didn't see that one coming. And the end of the movie kind of just resetting his whole universe and setting up the next Tom Holland trilogy, because the last I heard they were planning two or three trilogies. I think it was three. So clearly this was the end of this Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but I'm excited to see what they do with him in the future as Spider-Man. So going over it again, number 6, Black Widow. Number 5, Thor, Love and Thunder. Number 4, Eternals. Number 3, Shang-Chi. Number 2, Doctor Strange. And number 1, Spider-Man. Overall, it's been a decent showing in Phase 4 so far, and I'm excited to see what we have in the back half. I mean, we've got Black Panther, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is going to be their swan song. James Gunn's done after that third one, so that's probably my most anticipated one because the Guardians movies have always been a smash. So we're going to see where they take it, but so far in the first half, it's been a solid expanding of the universe. It's going to be hard to get back to that Infinity Saga level where it feels like every movie has to live up to that. So, I know it's going to take some time, and I've been able to sit on it for a little bit. I like Thor a little more than I originally did, but we just got to be patient. They can't just go right into the next big bad, the next big, super event. That's going to be down the line, probably Phase 5. We got to let them set up all these new characters now that like Captain America and Iron Man are on the sideline. So let's see where they take it, especially with this back half of Phase 4. But it's been great so far. And that's where I leave it for this episode. We got our rankings in of Phase 4 so far. Again, thank you for all the support, the downloads, the follows, just everything. It's been awesome. I'm just going to try to keep churning out content. Maybe we'll mix it up a little bit coming up. But just everyone, thanks for listening and have a great weekend.